Rob Liefeld, and how you came into comics, because that was your first professional work, correct, for DC Comics?
The work that mattered, yeah.
Yeah.
I did a couple backup stories and then talked about, yeah.
What were the backup stories?
There's a Shade that changed, her name's Shade, she was in Suicide Squad.
No way.
I did a Secret Origins, like a 15-pager, and then I did a Warlord backup feature. And then they gave me Hawk Dove.
Wow, that's cool.
Ethan, you need to find those books.
I'm going to find those books. We're at a comic book convention. I think
There you go.
There you go. There you go. So how was Hawk and Dove?
Hawk and Dove was it was a great beginning in terms of kind of everything that happened at Hawk and Dove would capsulize what I would go through now for 20 years. It had politics behind the scenes. It was very competitive.
But you were a young man. How old were you?
Well, and the thing is, I was everybody's fourth choice. I had a buddy named Art Taber. A lot of you guys know him. He's a fantastic inker. He sometimes pencils, but he was trying to get more penciling gigs, and he told me, I'm going up for this Hawk and Dove gig. I was a huge Teen Titans fan. I said, look, I'm gonna hand in some samples to it. And he's like, yeah, I don't even like Hawk and Dove, but it's a gig. And then I met the Kiesels at San Diego of '86, and they were putting together a Hawk and Dove proposal. And I said, please, and I said, I'll do the sample pages for you. And I guess he turned them down, and 3 other guys turned them down. So they had, Funkus Liefeld over here going, me.
And how old were you?
I'd be 19.
You were 19?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So, because I had, those 2 backup features and other stuff burned through my 18 years. So I'm 19 years old, Hawk and Dove. And literally, I grew up, I loved Hawk and Dove, a huge Titans fan, but Dove was always the weak link of Hawk and Dove when they were 2 guys. They were 2 brothers. He looked like a ninny. I mean, he had his gov. I mean, he looked like Baby Huey's friend. Like, he belonged in the DC Universe. He had like a little bird cap and bird panties and Hawk had the sweet, like you said earlier today, we were talking vision. Hawk had the visual. Dove was terrible visually. Well, they said, let's do Dove, and we're going to make her a girl this time. And I was sweet. And I sent in like 15 designs of what I thought Dove would look like as a girl. And I don't know if it was the editor Mike Conlon or Barbara Kiesel. I butt heads with both of them on this, but they were like, no hair. She can't have any hair. You have to put the skull cap on. And I go, so now we have Dove, the boy, with boobs. Yeah. So the costume's the same, but now we've given Dove breasts. I don't even think I want to draw this anymore. Not, well, we just don't want her having hair. So then I went home that night because I had like a full head of hair coming out, and she still like the bird thing motif, but she had more like a shawl. But so I went in and put her in a ponytail, and then they called me up 2 weeks to go, Rob, we approved the ponytail. And I'm like, oh man, I get it.
Little things like that.
Yeah,
I know.
You know, you fight for stuff that is so obvious, but you're like, why are we fighting? This is so obvious. Yeah. Like literally, the version of Dove that saw Frank was like my 6th choice. But because she was stripped down to anything ordinary, she really did keep more to the original Dove, but at least I won on the ponytail and hair. And honestly, the book came out and did well. I had no idea. Not until the 4th, there was a letters page in the 4th issue. And again, I was being told how much I suffered on a daily basis.
Who was telling you that?
Carlin. And Carlin knows this. Carlin is one of the most, at that time, one of the most oppressive. He likes to break rookie pencilers. And there are editors in our business, or were, who that was like, you're going to pay your dues, son. It's like, Hawk and Dove was not a ticket to anywhere for anybody. Everybody else turned it down. So, Scrub Liefeld was the guy. You couldn't find anybody more excited to do that miniseries than me. But it's like, okay, well, we're going to break you too. Dude, I'm having a hard time just trying to do this. I'm trying to break it. Well, then in the letters column, it's all this fan notes, all positive. They're like, yeah, we were never going to let you see that. See, you've done issue 5. I was in the melodrama issue 5. And then I saw, people are really digging this. Because back in that day, nobody knew sales. You didn't have the internet printing sales. For Hawk and Dove, I guess it sold very well for them, which I would never have known. But at that point, you need to know the insecurity we all have in comics. You want to know that your work is being well received, because that's what you're going to need your next job.
Well, did that depress you, or did it motivate you?
Oh,
Negative feedback
motivated.
motivated you.
You guys anybody watch 24? You ever watch 24? There's a character on there named Chloe, and last week she like helped save the day. She's in every season, and one guy started praising her. She goes, I don't do praise well. Don't be praised. I'm much better at being criticized. And I go, I think that's me.
Yeah.
I channel the negative energy. Oh, I love it. It means like I did something to piss you off, or that you really don't like, which means you're not ignoring me. And you know, some of you have to listen to and go, yeah, those capped man boobs were bad. That was bad, you know. And I cannot tell you how many people in my own office were like, well, don't let this leave. And I was like, send on the file. Like, I know that. And even I've said this before. Jim Lee called me. Because again, we're doing Heroes Reborn together. Jim Lee calls me. Rob, I just have, I saw, you know, the camera's great. It's really good. The big, it's just what you big did. Look, as your friend, tell me, you need to shrink down that chest. I can do it in Photoshop for you right now. You can't let this go. And I'm like, it's fine, Jim. And I'm like, you know, stop telling me what to do. And this day I go, man, you looked out for me. And I didn't listen. So occasionally you're a bonehead.
Yeah, but you know, at that period, at that point in your career, we're jumping way ahead, but at that point in your career, it's a whirlwind around you at all times. With all the responsibility that you have, making sure that all those other people hit their deadlines, people that are working for you, as well as all of the stuff. I mean, I do, on a good year, I do a third of the amount of work that you do. And that's still an awful lot. So it's easy to let quality control slip every now and then when you're thinking about what comes after that.
It's the one that haunts me. And again, to this day, that picture never saw print. I mean, it's not, Marvel did not print it. It was like this big in a wizard, but it is like, it goes everywhere. When I'm 90, I'll be like, wow, look at the Yahoo! If you're not familiar with it, chef is out to here, okay? It's too big. But anyway.
Well, so Hawkins Dove ended.
Yeah.
It ended with you getting some positive feedback.
You know, the Marvel that people see now, that is very, sometimes flamboyant, they're kind of lippy, they can be a little arrogant, picking their fight. That's Marvel's MO ever since I've known them, and it goes back to Stan. Stan Lee set that tone. Marvel would say, we let DC train them, then we hire them away. And Bob Harris calls me and said, hey, I've seen this Hawk and Dove stuff. You want to come draw the X-Men? And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to draw everyone. Mom, I'm going to draw the X-Men. So I was telling my parents, and she's like, are you coming to dinner? Are you going to join your dad and I at dinner? And I'm like, the X-Men, because my mom was like, why are you always drawing comics? Why do you always have your head in comics? And when I bought her a house, I was like, this is for you, Mom.
When did that happen? When did that happen?
After X-Force.
X-Force.
Yeah, but my dad suffered from cancer for 20 years, had about 8 brain surgeries, really had the wind knocked out of him. So my parents went through some trials. And that motivated me more.
It's important for people to know. I mean, while this was happening, from what I know about you, you were responsible for supporting your family while your father was ill.
Yeah.
So you're 19 years old.
Yep.
19, 20 years old, and you're supporting your mother,
And
your
my
sister, your father.
Yep. And again, my dad, you know, helped just knock the wind out. And I would used to figure out on my long pad, I'd go, okay, I'm going to make this and this is royalties, and I can tell my parents that. Because that literally was the motivating force. When the windfall came in with X-Force and Image, it was simultaneously a relief, because I go, wow, now I can really help everybody out, and kind of set my own life up. But then, like you said, you kind of go, I can't get caught up in this. I got a consciously competitive business, and now we have target lines. I mean, when Todd and myself and Jim all sold big numbers, we instantly became, you know, the guys to take down in the business at the same time. And I mean, you know, you've experienced the same kind of success. I was telling you today, I was talking to Ethan earlier today in the lobby, Green Lantern Reborn. People are going to not remember when nobody cared about Green Lantern soon. Because they're going to go, oh, Ryan Reynolds, and they're going to just remember Green Lantern was not popular forever. I love the character, and the character is awesome. But he now outsells Batman and Superman. He's DC's flagship, and that started with the work that Jeff and Ethan did on Green Lantern Reborn. Or Rebirth, what's it called?
Rebirth. Reborn was when he had the eagle on his head.
So
anyway,
back
to you, correct. But
do. They gave me a Spider-Man annual, a New Mutants annual, an X-Factor fill-in, an X-Men fill-in. So they did, the X-Office was keeping me busy. They offered me X-Factor. I turned it down. I didn't want to follow Walt Simonson. I knew that I could never fill. Walt is one of the best guys to ever work in the business, and I'm like, I'm not ready to fall on my face following him. You got to pick your spots. You know, again, you probably don't want to follow Jim Lee on Hush, John Batman. You just kind of don't. You know, so the guy that takes that assignment is almost like on, you know, he's either.
Yeah, but you've done that. You've done that to a few guys too, because I remember reading X-Force and seeing some punk named Mike Mignola come in and do a fill-in, and it was like, bleh.
Well,
what is this?
You know, and it's funny that you know, they called me up and they said Mike was looking for work at Marvel, and Bob Harris called me and they were buddies, and I said, I love Mike's work. I think it'd be great. And they said, well, we need you to go draw some framing sequences. And to this day, I got to tell you, it's a shame that job. Now they had me do layouts, and for wherever you want to credit me, but I still have all the layouts I did. And Mike was even like, I looked at your work and I can work from your layout. You've got a lot of energy, your layouts have a lot of energy, but don't give me any bird's eye shots because I don't ever move the camera up. The camera always stays right here. And if you look at Mike's work, everything is shot straight on. And I mean, it's amazing because you don't ever notice it unless it's pointed out to you. It doesn't go up. He goes, I don't do down shots. I don't do down perspective. So anyway, but then Marvel said it's to this day the most negative fan mail they ever got from Mike's work.
He was out of context.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
And it's ridiculous. It's a shame. And you know, good for him that he is a superstar with Hellboy. Because like you said, it's out of context.
Yeah.
He was the wrong guy to fill in on that job. He should have been doing Batman or something like that.
Now, I imagine you drawing New Mutants, and during this time, okay, you're creating all kinds of stuff as extreme properties later.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That is it. It's funny, just 2 days ago, I'm on Twitter. I'm Robert Liefeld on Twitter. You can follow me because I can't stop yakking. But Tom Brevoort, who has all the Avengers books, he says, Rob, can I print the Young Avengers proposal that you and Jim Valentino handed in? And I said, feel free, print it, do it. Because I said, Tom, if I'm correct, Kruger, Brahma, half of Youngblood, and half of the characters that made their way into Guardians of the Galaxy are in there. So they put the word out, they were going to do a young junior Avengers. So Valentino and I did artwork for it. We did like a 24-issue synopsis. And again,
It's a good thing it didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen. I mean, and I almost cried. When I heard they were changing it to New Warriors, Mark Grunwald, who was fantastic ever, Mark Grunwald was the guy that hired me in comics, period. And then because Marvel never sent me my solo Avengers story, DC gave me the Warlord stuff. And I ended up at DC, so it's weird how things happen. And Mark Grunwald said, Rob, yes, we are doing a Young Avengers style book, New Warriors. But right now, they want you to do the New Mutants. You've already done the Daniels. And he said, Rob, because it's kind of very different. Take the bird in the hand. Stop waiting for the one in the bush. And that's how you should look at things. And I go, I really want to draw Name Marita. And, you gotta understand, I was like bigger than Name Marita and all these Young Avengers characters. And to this day, I'm like, wow, what a great phone call. Because I don't want to know how things turned out if I didn't do the meetings. So
that's true. That's where everybody really started to
that was mine.
You big time.
Yep.
And where your style kind of solidified, didn't it?
And also, again, I believe it's because the guy who was doing the book before me, Brett Blevins, amazing artist, amazing talent. I don't believe properly suited for the X-Men universe. That's my opinion. I tell him if he was sitting right here. I think he draws on par with some of the best animators. But for mutants, I think what was haunting him was once a year they do those Art Adams annuals. And you'd see Art Adams draw the new mutants, and you'd be like, oh my gosh, this is how I want them to look 24/7 all the time. And then Brett would do his kind of Little Mermaid Disney style, which is beautiful. But you're thinking,
on the Power Pack or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm getting on your mutants, I'm like, I'm just getting the Art Adams. But Farm and I used to always talk. we have Art Adams to thank for our success because he only did one book a year. We were all like, we can give you kind of, sort of Art Adams once a month. It's not as good, but it'll be regular. And like, it's taught me like, what do you need to thank that guy?
How many people have to thank Adam Hughes for that very same reason?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are certain, you know, the godfathers of style, and, you know, Travis Shrez, too.
Oh my God, how many careers?
I mean, Travis has launched, you know, a million guys, but Art Adams was definitely the daddy of the image style. Jim Lee, Todd, myself, Larson, we loved him.
Art Adams and Michael Goldman, you guys.
Yeah, oh yeah, Michael Goldman, WonderCon, which is in San Francisco, Oakland. Jim Lee, Marshall Lester, myself, and Eric Larson are gonna go out to dinner, and Art Adams goes, hey, can I join you? And we love it. And at this Chinese restaurant, we are lavishing love on him. And Art's just